Hey, good morning. What a beautiful day. I don't mean to make some of you jealous because winter has lasted forever. Has it not? Oh my gosh. It feels like we've had winter since September and we're in the south in the desert. That's just not what we signed up for. But some of you where it's still snowing, I'm sorry. It's okay. The world has not forgotten how to bloom. It's just peacefully waiting out winter. We forget what is really in store, that life continues, that we're here on a journey through the hard winters, through the hard springs, harsh heat of the summer. Like down here, we're going to be indoors again because it's going to be too hot to be outside. But I think the most important thing is that we remember that we're growing. We're here for the expansion. And if we're not growing, it feels kind of like we're dying. Complacency is where we grow doubt. Doubt that we're on the right path, doubt that we'll ever see spring again, doubt that, we'll come to life in the way we were meant to come to life. I was asking this morning in my meditation and prayer, why is it that I feel dead? Dead's kind of a strong word, but why is it that I don't feel as alive when I'm just by myself? It's interesting because my life has just had patterns of being alone. And I have learned to go from lonely to alone. If I am alone, it's by choice. I'm spending time with myself, not by myself. So there's a difference between being lonely, which I used to be. I used to be lonely because I was leaning on everybody else to be my entertainment, to fill me up, to help me express who I am based on the hat I was wearing. And we're not really here to do that. We're not here to lean on other people to show us who we are. It is our job to discover who we are. And what I've discovered is that I am here to reinvent myself all the time. Now, that's not something that may be a popular idea because there's something about certainty, staying the same, being, with the same people, doing the same things every day that brings us comfort. I know people whose parents worked for the same companies their entire lives and it was safe and stable. And so these people grew up to get the most stable job, not necessarily the job that they really loved, not really following creativity at all. And it caused them to be stagnant and unhappy. You could sense the mundaneness of their existence. Just from how they would talk, they didn't have anything to talk about except for other people and the gossiping that was happening because they didn't have anything going on for themselves. There was no growth or personal expansion. Now, that's not a judgment. It was just an observation that in my experience, that when I get to a place where nothing's really going on in my life, I'm not really happy. My happiness is dependent on my growth, my initiative, taking initiative to get uncomfortable again. Because, our life is full of sifting and sorting, highs and lows, right? And some things we've done for a long time and we go from incompetent to competent, but competence leads to confidence. And when you are in that state of confidence, that only goes so far. You're confident in the thing you've done, but not in all the things you're here to do. And so you have to get incompetent, put yourself in another place, an opportunity. There's an opportunity at work to apply for a higher position. There's an opportunity to make more money. There's an opportunity to increase your relationship stability or intensity. Is that a good word? And we're here for the expansion, realizing how much God is in our life, realizing we have the power to ask and receive for what the things we're asking for, that we are powerful manifestors and creators. And that's what we're here to do. We're here for the creating, not the creation. The creation is where you got your confidence from, but creation doesn't have an end. So we're always in this phase of creating. It's kind of like raising your family. When I was a young mom, I was super incompetent. Like I had no handbook, like who does, right? We're given children that are not just like us. And what we do with that is dependent on the skill set we have. And if we don't want to develop our skill set into a wider, expansive skill set so we can handle each and every little personality that's coming through, then we will struggle. We'll just struggle because we want them to do what we want them to do, because we want them to be in agreement with who we are, but that they are not who we are, right? So it's kind of like how we are in life. It's like we want everything to be within our confident or our competent range, when the struggles that we're having is pushing us into incompetence. Like, I don't know what to do with that. Like, I'm in an emotional upheaval because I don't know how to manage the things I'm feeling about that subject that has now entered my life. So as parents, parents of young children, we're like, how do I manage this without yelling and screaming? How do I help them without being frustrated that they're just being little children and they're actually acting very appropriately? I'm the one that's not acting appropriately as an adult, processing what's happening, right? So I remember at a time in my life when I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. All right. Acknowledgement's the first step, you got to admit what you don't know. And then I went and found mentors, mostly in books, a few of them in person, and I just watched closely. And I was like, oh, modeling what they were doing and taking advice from people who have done what I'm trying to do was super helpful, because I was like, oh, you can laugh. You can actually laugh at the antics that are going on. You don't have to take that as an affront that I'm just not being a good parent right now, that they're doing these things that are age appropriate and inappropriate. and it's not because I'm a bad parent. It's because they're children and I'm just gonna laugh and correct later. Like, I don't have to yell and scream right then and there in the moment because they're being children. This was a huge learning curve for me. And it was a reinvention of myself because I got super structured. That's how I managed it, is just through structure. That we had playtime and activities and nap time, and everything was pretty set during the day. And I even scheduled, like, Monday nights was family night. So I had a lesson schedule of something I wanted them to internalize as a value. And we'd had it scheduled every Monday night. And I had a theme for every month. So I kind of went deep with it, but that was my way of handling it. But it was my way of turning incompetence into competence so that I could become confident as a mom. But every stage that my kids grew, it required that I had to step up and put some more tools in the tool belt and feel more competent as I became incompetent to handle preteens and then teenagers and then, ready to fly the nest, adult teenagers. And it was just a process that had no handbook. There was sort of a roadmap and a timeline for, what I needed to get done before they left the house. But I was reinventing myself the whole time. And it's interesting too, because the theme of family kept coming up. So my family was fairly fractured as a child. Like, we were all taught to, us kids were taught to think that the other child was the favorite, that we didn't have a place and that we didn't deserve love. And, that we were all pitted against each other to some degree. And there was a lot of fracturing. And there's been a time where my siblings and I didn't talk for like 10 years because, we were hurting each other just by being together. So, and I mean, like, when there's trauma in your childhood, there's so many ands. You're just sifting and sorting, trying to keep your own marriages together, trying to raise your own children, do better than your parents did, all that stuff. So there were reasons, but at the same time, the family that I came from and the family that I developed and grew were not all the family that I was ever going to need, you know? And when my marriage ended, I found myself again sifting and sorting through being alone. It's like, what does this even mean? I'm so much a people person. I like to be around other people. I don't like chaos, don't like noise. I like to know there's other people around. And here I am again, alone, discovering more about the incompetence that I'm feeling, and so that I can become competent in dealing with this next phase of my life, you know? And so, marrying into a family also. So I have my family and his family, and it has become our family and our grandchildren. And it's just interesting because this morning in my prayer and meditation, I was still asking, how come I don't feel like I'm growing unless I have people around me? And as I've been putting this mentorship together for women, just amplifying our spiritual gifts, the answer came. It's like, because you need your family around you. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. In this phase when I'm a grandma, I'm not 100%, like, I'm not getting into everybody's business, you know? We get together, but they don't live with us, right? So there's this empty nest. What am I doing with myself? Need to recreate, reinvent myself and create again and again and again and again in my business. And so I know that when I work with one-on-one with my clients, there is so much synergy flowing through both of us that it's a gift for me, it's a gift for them, because I'm not smart enough to know what everybody needs, but when I ask, it is given, and miracles happen, and these cool things come through that I never even imagined would be the answers we were looking for. But oh my gosh, the answers are just magical because they are gifts. You know, we asked a better question, and through our conversations, beautiful answers come through. And it's so satisfying that that's where I feel the Spirit the most, you know, in my personal interactions with God and my angel family, another family, but also when I'm interacting for and behalf of somebody else who needs some answers to the test, and we work through it together. And the impressions that come through me for them is their opportunity to grab those impressions, write them down, contemplate them, and put them into action, right? So as I was asking, what is it that I need right now to feel the Spirit more? And the answer was family. That's what came through, was family. And creating family, like that was the way I'm built is for expansion and synergy. And those two things magnify each other. Now, if you don't know who you are or what you want, it makes it very hard to understand those dead spots in your life. When you feel less alive, you're like, what do I need? What do I need? You know, you're looking in the refrigerator for it, and you're looking on TV for it, and you're looking to social media for it. And you're like, what am I looking for? And what I have learned is it's never too late to expand, but you're just in this place of competence, like been there, done that. Now what? Okay, so, and you're looking for more. And it's the moreness of this expansion that takes you into the better questions. What is it that I need? And where can I find it? How am I going to do that? That is what you're looking for. That's what you need. But maybe you also need some help in discovering who you are and what you want, because it's not obvious that synergy would be my reason for expansion. Does that make sense? Like, if you don't know who you are in the deeper needs, the spiritual needs you need to grow in. So when I'm like, okay, I'm an initiator, so I have to experience everything first before I can teach it. I know that that expansion is what I'm here to do. So the to-do-ness is not my coaching. The to-do-ness is not raising a family. The to-do-ness is, what am I doing to expand? I'm here to always expand and reinvent myself. That's the expansion, right? Reinventing myself. Who can I become? And there's another higher need of my spirit, which is determination. And that's an interesting one, because I have been very determined in my life to overcome trauma, to overcome hardships, to make sense of what's happening in my relationships. You know, when you get married, you don't expect to get a divorce. Like, that's not the plan, you know, but when it comes to that, because you either choose to live or you're just going to choose to die for the rest of your life, like that's going to be a problem unless you are willing to shift and do something about the problem you perceive. And when I realize that determination is one of my higher needs of my spirit, it's the determination to discover that everything is perfect. I know this is like, I have spent years trying to assess this for myself, because you have to know who you are to you. Who are you? What are you? Like, the what is the emotion, you know, who is in your brain, the what is in the emotion, the why is in your spirit, and the where is physical. So when you understand the who, the what, the why, and the where of your entire being, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, now you can grow. But you can grow so much more intentionally. You're not just growing happenstance. You're like, oh, that's what that was 10 years ago. You know, you're not like late to the party and realizing the need you had to expand. And so you went through these hardships and you went through these trials that were not your favorite at the time, but they can become your favorite in the moment. Like, you can have the 10,000 foot view now if you have the who, the what, the why, and the where. And then you don't have to guess at it. Now you're not wondering if you did it right, or if that should be something you should hold shame and guilt and fear about. Instead, you can know that everything is perfect. It's working out for you. It's right on time. You literally can't get off your path. But if you don't know you're on your path, if you don't understand the purpose of that path, your purpose, like my purpose is to expand, to reinvent myself, to find that determination, to understand why things are happening and what it is I need to expand on. Like, if I have determination, like, let's use the determination in a couple of ways. One of the things that I'm always determined about is, if I don't know, I will know. If I don't have the answers, don't worry, I will get the answers. That is my rule of determination. And so when I am determined to understand the human behavior, the why it's happening, the deeper core need that is going unmet, the reason for the struggle, when I am determined to find that out, then I have the answers to the test. Like, I'm not guessing what's going to be on the test. Like, I am doing it. It's like, oh, if I know the synergy is where I need to expand, then I'm building a new family. I'm building a new family of women, strong women that want support. Like, that's the answer for me. And that's what I'm here to do. And when I do that, what happens to the women I'm working with? Like, they get to find out who they are, what they are, why they are, and where they are. They'll have the answers to the test too, because I'm literally doing what I'm built to do. And my greater need of the spirit is to help people see what they can become. Like, their ahas about who they are and where they're headed and why. That's the cream of the crop. Like, that's the golden nugget. So when I'm doing that, I am expanding. I'm recreating myself. I am building that synergy because I'm with these people. Like, they are my family. And that's how you know you're on your path, because everything just feels good. It just feels good. Good and God, they're the same. When you're feeling good, you're with God. God's with you. Well, I should say, even if you don't feel that God is with you, He's always with you, or we would just flop dead on the ground and, the pulse in our body would just stop. He's always with us. He gives us life, right? Breath is life. We're breathing, so He's with us. But if we don't feel like he's with us, because we're feeling like confidence and competence about what we've done in the past is no longer holding us up, then it's time to get incompetent. It's like, I don't know what I don't know. I just need to accept that I don't know what I don't know. And let it be. Let it be that you don't know, because you will know. You will get to that place where you know. So, what don't you know? And I feel like that's what's calling you forward. If you're a little dry, a little blah, especially after this winter, you're like, I need some spring in my step, literally, like spring. I need to figure out like these little details about myself. What am I really here to do? Are you here to build a business? No, not really. Are you here to role model everything for your family? That's not it either. Those are really big ideas, very general. We're here to do all of those. So I'm not saying don't. I'm saying there's a deeper need. Like, you're built different than me. You're built different than other people. But if you figure out how you're built, the who, the what, the why, and the where, and you understand the thoughts you think about, the emotions you're feeling and what to do with them, how do you get yourself to slide closer to God, not farther away? When you understand your deeper purpose, the only purpose that you can fulfill, like nobody else can do what you're here to do, the way you're here to do it. That why, it goes deep, but it's so meaningful. It changes your ability to be competent. And then the where. Where are you on that path? What keeps coming up in your life that's like, man, that's annoying. That's frustrating. That's like those emotions, the what that keeps coming up. It's trying to help you understand that the where you are is on a growth pattern. Like the what, when the what comes up and the emotions, you have to ask yourself, why does that still frustrate me? Why do I still take offense? Why does that shock my nervous system? Why does that throw me off track and I can't hardly eat, sleep, or read or write for days? Like what is happening? That's the what, the emotion, that's keeping you stuck in the where, because the where should be in motion. That's where creation happens, is the creating is in motion, right? Action. It's what you're doing every day. And it's how you're handling it on the mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical planes. You got to know these things, I think, because it's how you fulfill the measure of your creation. It's how you move your life into a new and exciting place. And it might be a little exciting and it might be a little bit scary to move out of your comfort zone, to go from incompetent to competent. But that is the course of life. That's what makes us go, wow, that's where I was, this is what happened, and this is where I am. I'm so much better off for it. But that is the expansion that we're here to do for the rest of our lives. It is our mission. It is how we help other people. It's how we grow and we meet people that we are meant to interact with, where they're helping us or we're helping them. We're here to discover those deeper needs of the spirit, the deeper needs to be you, uniquely you. So me sharing some of the things that I've learned about who I am, if I'm not taking action and overcoming the shadow of my gifts, the shadows are like, that's why you're feeling frustrated, lonely, upset, triggered, whatever. When those things happen, it's because it's asking you, please grow. Please see me for the gifts that are in you. See me, the frustration. See me, the problem, so that you can take the gifts that are in you, not the shadows. I don't want you reacting to me. I want you to respond. I want you to respond to become the person you are meant to be, the agreement, the contract you signed coming into this world, that you would get out of that unhappy, unhealthy, traumatic cycle and live free, Live happy. Be free. So you see the problem. You have a new way to respond to it because you know who, where, or who, what, why, and where you are. And now you can respond differently and set yourself free. That is what you're here to do. And it's my role to show you how to do that because it was in my skill set and interest to reinvent myself so that I could be in a place to show you how to do it too. That's what an initiator is. I initiate by following my curiosities, figuring out why I have problems, overcoming the problems, and I will do that for the rest of my life. I'm not perfect. I haven't figured it all out, but when something comes up and I'm like, what is that? Why do I feel this way? What, is that what I'm here to do? No, it's not. Wallow around in that mess again? No, that's not what I'm here to do. But we do we do messy life in families. That's the ticket. That's what came through for me this morning, is the family is the most important place. It has to be safe. So unhealthy families, there was never a safe place for me as a child. It got more safe in the one I created. It's gotten more safe in the expansion of that family. But I have all the power to create a very safe family for women, a very safe and bright container where we can be lightly humored and fully honest, and we can really expand together because there's that support. And I think that's what family means. It means creating a support system so that you can be alone, but you're not lonely. And you can find that greater desire to expand, even safely, because you have the answers to the test. You're not just troubleshooting life going, I don't know, if I make this decision, is it going to blow my entire life to bits? Or can I be peaceful about taking that next step? And when you're peaceful, everything gets better. It's much easier to make a decision from a place of peace than it is from a place of conflict. Oftentimes, when we're in conflict, we're making decisions that we have to backpedal on because it's not necessarily the place that we should have been making decisions from, right? So ask me how I know. I think we've all done it. But if you're looking to expand in a safe and bright container where you have all the support and you have the answers to the test, and then you can sift and sort from this place of going, oh, that keeps happening. Ooh, that doesn't feel good, but this is how I've reacted to it, which wasn't my higher self. So now if I take the needs of my spirit into consideration, and then I respond, because now I'm in alignment, because I know what the need is that's going unmet, now I can respond to the problem with an actual solution. And those problems are not wrong. They're just here to show you that you're ready to expand because you're really kind of sick and tired of doing the same thing over and over and over, right? It's time to expand. And if you can hear this message, if it resonates with you, I invite you to apply for my mentorship. It's for women only. It's amplify your spiritual gifts so your needs get met. You're here to do make a very important contribution. And it's my job to show you and surprise you how easy it is. So I invite you to click on the link in my Instagram bio. It's in Linktree, the little button, Amplify Mentorship. Click on it, fill out the form, set an appointment with me. You and I are going to get to know each other right off the bat. It's my favorite thing, because if you don't have me with you, you're going to be lost. I have joined so many groups and it's just like crickets. And I just don't believe in that. I don't believe in crickets. I believe in togetherness. I believe in synergy. I believe in teamwork. I believe in showing you what's possible. So if you want to know what's possible, join me and I'll talk to you soon.